Well, you were able to turn it into a positive for yourself with your announcing with the World of Outlaws. You did well after your incident.
Yeah, I was fortunate. A few years after my accident, the World of Outlaws had a winter series that ran out in Arizona for 10 weeks every winter, and they did it live every weekend for 10 straight weeks. And the first year they did it, they had Jeff Swindell, who's a driver, as a color guy. And the following year, when they did it again, he had a ride for the race, so he couldn't do the color. And he suggested me to try to do the color broadcast of the TV, and I had no training, no experience. And they basically just threw me in the booth, and I found out in TV time, 15, 30 seconds, that's eternity. I was with Mike Joy, who does now all the Fox NASCAR stuff, and Dick Berggren, who was pit reporter for Fox till he retired this year. They were the two guys in the booth with me. And I hear the producer in my ear, 60 seconds, we're going live, and you hear him counting down. And they're standing up, talking and laughing and joking. I'm thinking, we're getting ready to go live TV in front of the whole world here. I'm scared to death, shaking, and they're so relaxed. And when they started getting down about 15 to go, they sat down and got serious. And I realized with 15 seconds, that takes a while in TV time. So I got used to it over time, and I've been very fortunate that it has kept me involved in the sport we love.
Well, you talked about you were nervous when you were about to go live. Which caused more nervous conditions, driving a sprint car or being on live TV?
I was teasing Brian earlier because it's Mike Dutcote said something about getting him up in the booth, to announce with him. A lot of these places I did TV, there were no elevators, and they'd get 2 or 3 guys to grab me in the wheelchair and take me right up through the grandstands. Now, if it was a stairway where there was a railing I could hang on to, that was okay, but when they take me up through the grandstands and the guy behind's walking backwards and the guy in front, and every time they step, they're rocking me back and forth. And that's why I was teasing Brian. I've never been as scared in a race car as I am when they take me up and down the steps to get me in and out of the booth at some of the TV broadcasts. So I like the tracks that have an elevator a lot better.
So it's not racing or announcing, it's actually getting through the grandstand that scares you.
Yeah, getting in and out, and especially when you're up there at Knoxville, Iowa, the first year they built the new towers. It's 4 stories high, and the elevator wasn't connected yet. So these guys took me up 4 flights of stairs, and we get up there, and the tornado sirens start going off in Knoxville. Knoxville, Iowa is a farm town southeast of Des Moines, Iowa. The tallest thing in town is the grandstands at Knoxville, Iowa. And Ralph Shaheen and I are in the booth, and the cameras guys are on the roof. They've bailed, they're down. Everybody's downstairs, and the producer comes in our ear, and he says, Ralph and Brad, we need you to hang tight for just a little bit here. We're gonna come back and do a hit for the show. And Ralph I teased him, he used me for an excuse. He said, there's no elevator, there's tornado sirens. Maybe we ought to get Brad down out of the booth here while we can. And it's pouring down rain, and they're taking me down the steps in the pouring down rain. That's even worse than going up when it's dry. So we've had some good experiences.
Brian, you've got a long road ahead of you. What do you see coming down the road for you in the future?
I'm gonna work as hard as I can rehab-wise. Well, not rehab, therapy-wise. And I'm gonna get stronger, and I wanna focus on getting as mobile as I possibly can and being able to, hopefully by spring I can drive and have my upper body strong enough so I can transfer myself and be able to do a little more on my own. And that's my main focus for really like the next year, is because that's when most likely everything will heal to its best and you can get the most back with your spinal cord injuries. So that's what I'm looking for.
I know you can take solace in the things Brad's accomplished, and I told you a story earlier about the drag racer Darrell Gwynn, who suffered some devastating injuries in a crash in England in 1990. The first time he returned to a track after that was at Indianapolis in 1990, and I had the good fortune to be able to talk to him. His attitude was so positive, and he's gone on to do some great things through the Darrell Gwynn Foundation, raising money to give motorized wheelchairs to people in need. The attitude that people have told me you've exhibited is the same as the one he had and what we've known that Brad had. They've both gone on to do some great things, and you've got that in you too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's what I'll find my niche and just work for it, and that's what I'm really looking forward to in life. You got a new curveball to throw at me, and now I'm just ready to get working towards that. So,
well, you got to feel good about all the people that showed up here today to help raise some money for you and just show that they're still on your side.
Yeah, it's amazing the support that I've gotten from so many people everywhere, and just like Brad had said there, it's amazing the people you get in those little cards. You might be having your worst day and you get a bunch of Boy Scouts that wrote you little cards, and you sit there and you flip through them and you go, life isn't that bad, So it is really great, and this has been a great turnout, and I got to especially thank Mike Letts for putting it together, and Bill Beck. They've been great help. They've been to the hospital quite a few times seeing me, and it's helped the road be a little shorter, I'll say.
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk with us, and good luck down the road. And next year when we're lining up guest hosts for Open Throttle 360, we're going to give you a call and see if you have the time to help me out and guest host the show with me.
Yeah, I'd love to do that and look forward to trying it.
All right. Thank you, and thank you, Brad, for all you've done to help this event. This is Tom Lang reporting for Open Throttle 360.